Andrew Boswell on your left at 10-2-1 with green-white tokens. Against Ronnie Ritner on your right, 10-2-1 with black-white angels. So for those of you that are tired of Band Company, here you go. 2 non-Band Company decks in top 8 contention. And we'll see who will be on the play. It'll be the Boz with a Forest. For Ritner, he'll play a Shambling Vent, and we are underway here in round number 14. Boswell, land number 2 might be a Westvale Abbey. It is. And now, it'll be a Noose Constrictor. Now, we have not seen this one all weekend long, so we'll let you get a good look at what some people are deeming the new Wild Mongrel, but I wouldn't call it that because Wild Mongrel's color shifting actually did matter.
Well, Reach is a real keyword here, too.
Absolutely. So you see the 2-mana 2/2 with Reach. Discard a card. Noose Constrictor gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Now, does Boswell have any madness going on? Not really. So it is a curious inclusion in his deck. But Reach, as you did mention, is a important keyword. As now here's a Sylvan Advocate.
It's also just good at brawling.
Yeah. Ritner with another land enters the battlefield tapped. It's a Forsaken Sanctuary this time.
These lands.
This is the frustrating part about playing black-white sometimes. Trust me. I mean, Shambling Vent is exquisite.
Yeah.
It's a great Magic card, but it does enter the battlefield tapped, as does Forsaken Sanctuary. Let's see if Ritner has a removal spell. It'd be pretty important for him to have one. Looks like he does have a Grasp of Darkness in hand. He'll play that. Take care of the Noose Constrictor. You know, the Advocate hit him. Boswell going to follow up. Does he have a Gideon this turn? Oh, yeah. Now, this looks like the old format.
Right. An on-curve Gideon, and it looks very powerful right now.
Ritner will draw a card. He does have Anguish on Making in hand, also has a copy of Gisela. And he will play Gisela and pass the turn back. So, hey, you said it right at the start.
Right. The 2 best cards, I think, in these respective decks for the matchup.
And we're going to actually get to see them.
Are they the best position cards week 1 right now? Maybe not. But are they really good right now? Yes.
Gideon is angry. Into the red zone. Attack for 5. Ritner's going to fall down to 11. You saw Boswell play land number 5. That's for Avacyn number 1 that he does have in his hand. We'll head back Ritner's way. He'll draw a card. And Gaia Reach Sanitarium is the land for the turn. Boswell wants to take a look, and we can do the same. Haven't seen that land very much this week, and it is a new one from Eldritch Moon.
A fine value land to have in a game in a deck that's looking to go long. Also, it's a legendary land that you can find with Thalia's Lancers. Very nice for this deck since it's trying to go to 6 and 7 mana, so there are times where you would want to tutor for a land.
Taps for colorless. And then each player draws and discards a card, and you do see Thalia's Lancers. That is a card that can be very useful in Ritner's deck if he ever does draw it. So now here comes Gisela, going after Gideon, and Boswell's got to think a little bit here. Again, remember, he does have an Avacyn in hand, but does he actually want to use the Avacyn right now? It looks like the answer is yes. Ritner may have a response. The effect on the stack, he's going to Anguish on Making. Now that does exile, it does not destroy, so that doesn't play a huge role, but he'll lose 3 and then gain 4. And I'll pass the turn back. So he's up to 12. Well, that's not very much life. Gideon's going to go up. Turns to a 5/5. Here come the beatdowns. Keep in mind that there was a land there for the Sylvan Advocate, so there are 6 lands on the battlefield. So that's an attack for...
It's like 9.
Looks like 9. Looks like the token's going to hang back on defense. Here's a hanger back Walker. Maybe the token did attack. If it did attack, I believe it should be tapped, so we'll have to make sure the game state is actually accurate right now. There we are. Okay, so it did attack. Now, Gideon down. Gisela's going to gain Ritner some life.
This is going to be attack for 11 last turn because Sylvan Advocate was pumped up.
Correct. Now here's Sorin. Deal 5 there, I have to assume, to take care of the Advocate. So now Ritner's back up to 10.
Clocking in with Gisela, too.
Mm-hmm. Force the draw for Boswell to go along with his Gideon. One of the things that black-white does is if it can make it into kind of the mid to late game, power level of the card is very high.
Very high power level, and you gain a lot of life along the way too. So you're unlikely to get punked out by one random threat slipping through the cracks.
One of the things I used to say when I played this deck is, black-white kind of starts the game at 15. With your lands that enter the battlefield tapped, you have Read the Bones and Anguish Unmaking. Some of your lands are Caves of Koilos. Like, you start the game on a pretty low life total, and then you need cards like Gisela, you need cards like Sorin, Linvala to be able to actually gain you life back. So it's a weird aspect of the deck. You actually start pretty low.
Yeah, you trade life for mana efficiency and versatility early on, and then try to get some of that life back with your power cards later on in the game.
4 mana. And now here's Gideon. Boswell's going to use Gideon to make an emblem right away.
Because he can't answer the Gisela, he kind of needs to just get some value out of this Gideon straight away. Making a 2/2 doesn't do a whole lot here, so going to go with the emblem.
Makes an emblem, takes care of the Sorin, and we will get an emblem on screen just as soon as we can. Make sure everyone knows what the battle state looks like. Now we head back over to Ronnie Ritner. Now keep in mind that Hangerback Walker is actually at 4/4 right now, as here comes Gisela. Ritner's going to go up to 14. A land. Ritner's just got to decide how he wants to tap his mana for his Kalidas. So there that is. Pass the turn back. Hangerback Walker will grow. It's into a 4/4, but actually a 5/5, thanks to the Gideon emblem. Nissa, Voice of Zendikar, the draw here for Boswell.
Boswell really needs a way to sacrifice that Hangerback Walker, and now it doesn't even work because of Kalidas. Gisela doing some work here.
Absolutely.
When it's not Spell Quellers and Reflector Mages, this card's got the numbers and keywords to be a high-impact card.
Yep. Boswell might be thinking, I got to go towards the Westvale Abbey route, a card we have not seen very much of this weekend at all.
I think that's going to be too slow here.
Yeah.
Now with sacrificing Hangerback Walker and making a bunch of Thopters being off the table, I don't think that's a route.
Here's Nissa. Got to come in, go up, make a 0/1 green plant creature token for Mr. Boswell. But realistically, it's a 1/2, given the Gideon emblem. And now, Ritner might be thinking Sanitarium activation? Yeah. Let's each draw and discard. Boswell picked up a land. Ritner very quickly discarded. He already knows what he wants to get rid of. And he gets rid of a Forsaken Sanctuary. Ultimate price, the draw here for Ronnie. Gisela going to check Nissa. You can see how powerful this card can be.
Yeah.
In certain matchups.
Sometimes the cards are as good as they look.
Uh-huh.
It's not always a trick. It's just often a trick.
Yeah. Ritner will pass the turn back. His hand right now is another copy of Gisela, along with an ultimate price. Ultimate price, no real good targets right now. It's possible to draw a card. Picked up a copy of Sylvan Advocate. That is a good target for ultimate price. What's kind of interesting about this, however, is that ultimate price might be reserved for the next Archangel Avacyn that Boswell draws.
Right, there's no real rush for Ritner to do anything here.
I believe Thalia's Lancers may have been the draw. Here comes Gisela again.
What's kind of funny about this is if Ritner is able to meld Bruna and Gisela, that's a pair that can brawl with Ormondal. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
He can hang power level wise with that, even if that's Boswell's route here.
Yeah. And there is Bruna. That's what the Lancers is going to find. Boswell will make a human cleric off of the Westville Abbey. All the flavor.
Yep.
Fortified Village to draw there for Andrew.
We've occasionally referred to the deck that Ritner is playing as an R&D deck. It's like the dream of what you hope the decks of the format look like. Like some removal, pretty interactive deck with like powerful, flavorful mythics all working together.
Lancers finding legendary creatures.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Usually it's just mana leaks and terminates, but sometimes, sometimes it looks like this and it's awesome.
Here comes Gisela again. Boswell going to fall down to 7, I believe. Ritner going to go up to 26.
You know, I'm not an optimist by any means in general, but it's nice for sometimes things to look the right way.
Legendary rule is Gisela.
Just trying to have a blocker back?
I guess so. I mean, that's not an accident.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to give Ronnie some credit here. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what he's setting up. You saw Boswell make another human cleric.
And Ritner there, I think, took the opportunity to remove something, as he doesn't want Boswell to get to his main phase with 5 creatures on the battlefield and Westvale Abbey ready to go.
Correct. However, Boswell came prepared because he has a creature to play in Sylvan Advocate. Now the boss has to decide, do I want to do this now? And that is making Ormondal, or do I want to wait?
It's very rare for Ormondal to just get out-powered on the battlefield, but that's kind of where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm. In with Gisela. Makes Boswell make a decision now.
Yeah, big sign of strength here. I mean, I don't know if Boswell really has another line of play here. I understand that if Ritner is making this attack, he's probably got Boswell's Ormondal covered in some fashion or another, but Boswell's board is not worth a whole lot.
Ritner might be going towards Read the Bones. Yep. It's kind of like a Bruna in holding.
Yeah.
Ruinous Path and a Plains. He's going to keep one of those. Picked up a Shambling Vent there. So he kept the Ruinous Path. Now I think we're going to see him cast it. Target Sylvan Advocate. Boswell says, I am going to make my Ormondal. Now, what this is going to do is going to exile some creatures here. So, Ritner should get 2 zombies. His Hangerback Walker and Sylvan Advocate will die. And we'll have to make that Advocate and that Walker actually are exiled. And not placed in the graveyard for Andrew.
Yeah, you can see, you know, Ritner has the Ormondal overpowered on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. So he set himself in a nice situation to be able to handle this. Now what did Boswell draw? Noose Constrictor, which he can play. There's a land. Pass the turn back with the ability to make another cleric if necessary. Ritner still has Bruna. And is casting Bruna. Anything to get back here outside of the Giselle that's in the graveyard. So he won't with the cast trigger. Boswell going to fall down to 1, and there will be a meld that takes place. Brizella, Voice of Nightmares, is here. Boswell going to take a look at that. I think it's worth reading that it's a 9/10 flying first strike. Vigilance Lifelinker, where now Andrew can't cast spells that cost 3 or less. So not sure what the top card of his deck is, but
he can't cast a whole lot of it.
no, he can cast whatever. Oh my! I think he just drew Tragic Arrogance.
Okay.
Oh my! So Ronnie gets to keep a zombie,
All right.
and then he gets a zombie from having the Noose Constrictor die while Cletus on the battlefield. Oh my goodness! We might see a huge swing here.
Now we got to look and see what's the removal that Ritner has here. Not a whole lot. He's got the 1 copy of Anguish I'm making. He's already through that. He's drawing fairly slim here.
Well, here comes Ormondal. Boswell's going to go up to 10. Boswell was checking to see if he would die in a counterattack from Shambling Vincent, the zombie token. Actually, he's going to gain 10 and deal 10 because of the emblem. Ritner going to fire up. Now, this is an out that he does have access to.
1 copy in the main deck.
Yep. Target opponent can sacrifice an target opponent must sacrifice an attacking creature, so that can take care of Ormondal.
Though he did not have it last turn.
Nope.
He did have 2 mana available.
All right, well, Liliana's going to come down. It's going to get back Bruna, which can get back Gisela or Thalia's Lancers or anything down there, realistically. And can reassemble Brizella. Ritner's life total is still pretty high.
Yep.
He's at 20. Boswell's at 5.
I mean, Ritner can try to reassemble here, and he has a lot of chump blocking that he gets to do. But Ormondal is still a fairly fast clock in the scheme of things.
Ormondal going to take care of Liliana. Boswell going to gain 10 life, go up to 15. Hangerback Walker is going to be cast for a bunch here. Looks like for 4. Still have 4 counters, but it is a 5/5.
Also significant because now Boswell is insulated from Blessed Alliance, if that's on his radar.
7 mana, Bruna time. A remelt strategy. Stop it once, but can you stop it again?
Well, he does have another Tragic Arrogance in his deck.
It's true. There's the Voice of Nightmares. Boswell. I gotta read the bottom half.
It's not good.
I love the meld cards. Flying First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, 9/10. Now keep in mind, Ormondal is a 10 power creature because of the emblem. So.
But Boswell can't, like, in the long term, he cannot hang back on defense and wait.
No.
He's drawing basically to 1 Tragic Arrogance left in his deck as a relevant card. He has 1 copy of Angelic Purge. He can't cast that anymore. And, you know, Gideon's not worth a whole lot, and Avinson's not worth a whole lot, and he's basically locked out of the rest of his deck.
Oh, what is this? Come and get it. Boswell, feel a little frisky. Get into the red zone. This is an attack for 15, by the way. Looks like a zombie might jump in front of Hangerback Walker. Yeah. So Ritner's going to take 10, gain 10? Or Ritner takes 10, Boswell gains 10. 25-10 now. A weird game. Nope. Nope.
You may not.
You can pay more for it. You can do that. You can do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you can pay 4 for it. That's for sure. Just can't pay 2. So there's another 4-4, make it a 5-5 hangerback walker. This game's getting weird. Read the bones, the draw. All right. Ritner going to look at the top 2. There's the Blessed Alliance. Found a Grasp of Darkness. Remember, Bruna does have Vigilance.
Yeah, you get offense, defense.
Yeah. Coast to coast, as they say.
No one has ever said that.
No one's ever said that.
No one says that.
Yeah, no one says that.
It's finally happened. The Angels are powerful, and it matters.
Yeah. There's no Reflector Mage to make this horrible. Zombie there. Bruna there. So that triggers on the stack. Thopters. This is going to be real creative because he's going to grasp here with Hangerback Walker's trigger on the stack. And then he could still in combat kill Ormondal if he knows how to stack everything correctly.
Yep, because the first Hangerback Walker triggers. In response, you kill the second Hangerback Walker. Now there's 2 triggers on the stack. Then there's a window for you to Bless Alliance.
No, but I don't think that Ritner saw that. So he'll untap and draw.
Although, if the setup here is just to languish, you get all the Thopters that way, and then your Blessed Alliance still works the next turn.
Yeah, duress. Well, how does this work? Let's take a look at Brazella.
Is it both players?
I would think so. I would be shocked if it was both players.
Yeah, your opponent.
Yeah. There goes Angelic Purge. Here comes Brazella. This game is awesome. Oh no! Make another Ormondal? Block. Boswell wants to check to see if it has trample. All right. So sacrifice some Thopters.
And I believe this is just to keep Ritner off of gaining the 9 life.
Uh-huh. All right, what's next? Languish.
All right, now I think Ritner has set up Blessed Alliance to kill the Ormondal.
Yes.
And I don't think that will prompt a concession because Boswell is still hypothetically drawing to his Tragic Arrogance, I guess, but we're basically done here.
Yeah. Well, if Ritner ever plays another creature, then he's fine.
Yeah.
You know, because he's just got 1 creature left for Tragic Arrogance. So Blessed Alliance gets escalated. Target opponent has sacrificed an attacking creature is the relevant one, so Ormondal down. Shambling Vent plus Brazella are given the beatdowns now. And Boswell's more or less locked out of the game. Boswell will draw. Tragic Arrogance. I guess play on.
Yeah, I mean, there's the hope that Ritner could mess up, so you might as well play.
Activate Shambling Vent. Activate Shambling Vent. Beatdowns for 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Boswell going to fall down to 2. And he'll draw. Picked up a Nissa he can't cast along with an Oath of Nissa, and now Tragic Arrogance, and that's going to do it. One heck of a first game there, but it's going to go to Ronnie Ritner as he wins game number 1 there over Andrew Boswell. Black-White Angels takes care of green-white tokens.
That was a sweet game.
That was an awesome game.
That's a sweet game. Yeah. I know we've had a lot of, some not necessarily the most satisfying Spellcaller, Reflector Mage, Collector Company games over the course of the weekend. That was sweet. That was really sweet.
Everyone got to do everything they wanted.
Yeah, look what happens when the blue cards are involved in the game. People just get to do their thing, and we figure out who did their thing better, and that person wins. Like, how good is that? It's great.
Take a look at the sideboards. We'll start with the Boz and his Evolutionary Leap, 2 Secure the Ways, 3 Den Protector, 2 Angelic Purge, 2 Quarantine Field, 2 Stasis Snare, another copy of Tragic Arrogance, and 2 Linvala the Preserver.
So I'm guessing he wants a couple more copies of Angelic Purge just to break up the first of all, he needs to kill Gisela. That's a really problematic card. Second, he wants to break up the graveyard stuff a little bit because over a long game we saw he had a great Tragic Arrogance and still got beat in a long game. So I think the Angelic Purchase, the Den Protectors, and the copy of Evolutionary Leap just to set up a long, grindy game is where he wants to be. Maybe he brings in the other copy of Tragic Arrogance. I think it was kind of an anomaly that it was as powerful as it was that game. I think typically against Black-White it's not where you want to be, but it definitely had a moment there. Maybe he wants another copy, but I doubt it.
Other side of things here for Ritner, he's got 3 Transgress the Mind, 2 Deadweight, 2 Flaying Tendrils, a Linvala, the Last Hope of Felidar Cub, a Collective Brutality, an Anguish Unmaking, a Planner, Outburst, Read the Bones, Bruna the Fading Light, and a Duress.
I like the extra copy of Anguish Unmaking, the Planner Outburst. Beyond that, there isn't a whole lot that's drawing me in here. Maybe the extra copy of Read the Bones if he thinks the game is going to slow down. Maybe the extra copy of Bruna if he thinks that's ultimately his route to victory. But nothing really jumping out at me besides the Anguish Unmaking and Planner Outburst.
Well, that gets you an idea of what these players are working with. So game number 2 going to be underway. Game 1 was a sweet one. We'll see if game 2 can be just as awesome. But for now, we talk about the StarCityGames.com newsletter. It is your source for Magic the Gathering news, where you get to read a whole lot for free.
All the latest going-ons with SCG, including information about the SCG Tour with the selected SCG Tour Match of the Week, exclusive deck lists and advice from some of your favorite columnists, an exclusive cardboard crack comic, and best of all, signing up is free over at go.starcitygames.com/newsletter.
Well, now we get ready here for game number 2. Andrew Boswell will be on the play, and we'll learn more about the Boz, someone that you do see in the booth from time to time with Chris Van Meter, the 32-year-old from Sugarloaf, New York, with his 8 open top 8s, 1 victory last year in Baltimore. Member of Team Card Hoarder, newly formed team here on the SCG Tour. He's a professional ceramic artist. Crystalline glazed porcelain is his specialty. Now, if memory serves, you have a product from the Boz.
I do. So I recently moved from Los Angeles to Denver. Everything that could not fit in my 2-door car was thrown out. So threw out most of my possessions. I did keep Andrew Boswell's mugs.
They got to be nice.
They are very nice. The old office I used to work with over at Activision, someone who described himself as being passionate about coffee mugs. I don't know what that means exactly, but he described himself that way, complimented me on Andrew Boswell's mugs.
Okay.
A fine investment. He's got an Etsy page. I don't know the exact handle, but I'm sure if you searched Andrew Boswell Etsy, you'd be able to find it. Get some of his sweet ceramics.
He's doing good work out there. That's what I've been told. That's all I know. And he can actually cast a spell or two as well.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Made by someone, some decent, hardworking, honest hands formed in Sugarloaf, New York.
That's right.
How can you say no?
I believe earlier you were a brother of Sugarloaf, New York. Is that what it was called?
I was a friend. I was
a friend.
I was called a friend of Sugarloaf by Reed Duke. I assume he's in a position to make that sort of call.
Okay, got it.
I was invited to the Sugarloaf Awards. I'm going to try to go this year. If there is actually a Friend of Sugarloaf award, I would be honored to receive it. Because I am a friend of the loaf.
Still an advocate here to start things off for Andrew Boswell. Looks like a Transgress the Mind takes care of Nissa. Boswell will play a Forest. The other 2 cards in his hand, you see upside down there. Hangerback Walker and Den Protector. It's a face down morph.
Could be anything.
Ah, yes, we certainly need the morph thing. Den Protector, Hangerback Walker, shown via duress. Forsaken Sanctuary, I believe, here from Ritner. Yep. Kick it over to the Boz. He will draw. See what comes next this turn for Andrew. Looks like Hangerback Walker just for 1. Here's an attack for 4. Fortified Village. Pass the turn back.
Love Boswell just playing hand up like a playtest game.
Absolutely. Oh, there's Kalidas. Beat it if you can.
And this is where Boswell could really use some of those sideboarded angelic purges. Otherwise, he's not attacking. And he's got nothing else going on except the ability to attack.
Yep. There's Canopy Vista. Now we could see something along the lines of unmorph. Well, actually, never mind. Take it all back. Transgress Exiles doesn't make you discard,
Yep.
so this is gone for good. Ignore that plan.
There is nowhere to go. There's just the question if he's willing to commit the second Den Protector.
And that might be exactly what Ritner wants to see him do. Ritner picks up a copy of Liliana. And just pass the turn back. Interesting. Hangback Walker going to grow. Forest. Here comes Advocate. It's a 4/5. And Archangel Avison. Yikes. Indestructible Trigger. Sylvan Advocate exiled. Zombie on the way.
These have been some rough turns.
Yeah. Ritner will draw. Linvala the Preserver.
Great card for this matchup. Not great in this spot because Ritner's ahead by so much, but
Normally a
normally a great
insane.
card. Normally a great card in the matchup.
Against this deck, it's awesome. You need every part of the Buffalo there.
Right.
You need the life. You need the 3/3 it makes.
You need
it
a
all.
flyer.
Yeah.
You
You need it all from Linvala against Green-White in most instances. Ritner will play Liliana. Minus there. Another zombie on the way.
And everything's exiled here, so these Den Protectors are not doing anything.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Pretty common problem for Green-White is Kalitas just backed up by removal spells.
Yep.
It's tough to beat.
And I believe Archangel Avison's going to transform.
Sure.
And it's getting pretty ugly now. Yeah, he had a zombie die. That's exactly why. Hangback Walker blocked a zombie.
Yeah.
And when Cletus is on the battlefield, non-token creatures get exiled. Token creatures actually die. That's how that works.
And the leftovers in Ritner's hand, for those of you wondering at home, Linvala, Sorin, ultimate price.
Anybody's game.
Languish.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Pairings and standings after round 5 are making their way to the pairing scores.
Plus Liliana give that morph -2, -1. And now a very safe attack here from Ritner. Boswell, no good blocks, nothing good to do with Den Protector. I haven't seen Den Protector look this bad ever.
Yep.
Ritner will pass the turn back. Boswell's at 2. You know, the only thing I could reasonably think of that might be good is Tragic Arrogance, and I'm not even convinced that's good.
I'm not convinced that's good, and then if you look at Ritner's hand, it's definitely not good.
Yeah, here's Noth of Nissa. Boswell will take a look at the top couple of cards. Gets himself an Archangel Avison. Pass the turn back. Ritner's going to very quickly untap and draw. He'll cast Duress. Make sure the coast is clear. It's a Canopy Vista. Time for some attackers. And that is going to do it. Ronnie Ritner is going to win this match over Andrew Boswell. 2-0. Black White Angels moves one step closer to the top 8, dispatching Boswell in his green-white token stack. And for Ronnie Ritner, it's a win and in next round.